Hey everyone, this is Vesper, and it's time for the next character reveal for Street Fighter V. This time it didn't come out of nowhere. We knew we were going to get a character reveal this weekend. So the next character is Rashid. He's a brand new character to the Street Fighter series, and he's also the first Middle Eastern character to the Street Fighter series. Gameplay wise, he's a very mobile character, both on the ground and in the air. Very El Fuerte-esque and mix-up heavy character. Now aesthetically, Rashid is wearing the traditional clothing and he's sporting the sandals. But there's something off. He's got a couple gadgets on him. The first obvious thing is he's wearing a DBZ Scouter for some reason. Second thing is he's got this backpack, but if you look a little closer, it's more like a jetpack or some kind of machine. Anyways, it probably manifests the tornadoes that he's making. And then third, he's got this walkie-talkie thing on his head. But other than that, it's nothing from the ordinary, and I'm glad he's not a goofy character, so we're 2 for 2 for new characters that are not goofy. So it's time for another gameplay trailer breakdown, and I was waiting for Capcom Unity to do a post on this character so I can get some more information, but they're taking a while, so let's just go ahead and do it without them. Now we do have match footage of this character, but like only one decent clip, so I'll be using some bits and pieces from that just to explain things better. But let's go over his special moves first, and then I'll go through the trailer, and I'll break it down piece by piece. First, we see him do a special attack where he jumps up in the air and does this kick move. It reminds me a lot of T-Hawk's Condor Spire. It's got a little startup to it too, like he momentarily stays in the air for a little bit before he does this kick. And in the gameplay footage that we see, he actually can get stuffed out of it like a counter hit. But on the flip side, it looks really high profile and thus will beat low attacks. On hit, it knocks the opponent down and launches him across the screen. The EX version of this looks a lot faster, most likely pierces through projectiles, but I don't know, and you can jungle after it. Alright, next special move is where Rashid twirls himself in different directions. It kind of reminds me of Conrad's twirl from Killer Instinct. Now I don't know which strength is what, but I do know there's 3 variations. One that goes straight horizontal, another one that swirls upwards, and a third one that goes straight up. Now watching the gameplay footage, I noticed that the horizontal version sometimes didn't knock down the opponent and only did like a couple hits. So there's something that you can manipulate with this move. I don't know if you can hold a direction to do more hits or you rapidly press a button, there's something. But anyways, I'm assuming that the horizontal version is used as your damage ender, the one that swirls upwards is like your juggle finisher, and the one that goes straight up vertical is definitely your anti-air. So Rashid's third special move is a projectile. He shoots out a tornado. Now in the trailer we only see him use it like once. He combos into a super with it. But anyways, I'm showing you some gameplay footage of it. Now, as you can see, there's a lot of different types of speeds on the startup of it. Sometimes he just kicks it out, and then other times he twirls for a bit. Now I don't know if you can charge it and delay it, for example, to throw the opponent off, or maybe just the different strengths have a different amount of startup times, just so you can mix up your opponent. Now the projectile itself, the trajectory, is very weird. It shoots forward like any other projectile, but then suddenly it starts to swerve upwards. This is really tricky because, you know, when someone throws a projectile at you, naturally you want to jump over it. But in this case, that's not something you want to do. Now from full screen, it's not exactly the best projectile because obviously it goes up. But when you're about mid-range, it's pretty damn good, man. You're covering a lot of space. Now the EX version, on hit, it doesn't knock down, but it looks like you're at advantage. You might be able to follow up with something after it. Could be combo filler. But the EX version of this projectile definitely comes out a lot faster, the hitbox looks bigger on it, and the horizontal range is definitely longer. Now if you hit the opponent with this while he's airborne, I wouldn't be surprised if you can juggle something afterwards with it. In fact, that's what I think it's intended for. Alright, so this next special move, I'm not 100% sure what it is, but I have 2 theories. So Rashid jumps in the air and he goes, Yahoo! And he does this big jump, basically, in a very predictable arc. And then all of a sudden he cancels out of it and does this dive kick. Now the first theory is this. It's a command hop. So it's something like Ibuki, or maybe something like Cammy on our hooligan, and then she can cancel out, or he can cancel out, into his dive kick by pressing kick, for example. The second theory is that he simply has a super jump. Now right now I'm leaning on the theory that it's just a command move where he does a command hop, because I see 3 different types of jumps when I look at the gameplay footage. And it clearly looks like he's canceling out of the hop into that dive kick special move. So let me show you guys the gameplay footage now. You'll notice he barely jumps up this time. It's like mid-range. So maybe that's possibly the medium kick version where he doesn't go as high and you can quickly use your dive kick. If I'm wrong, it just means that you can cancel out of his super jump immediately. Now the third variation of this hop is shown in the trailer, and there's gameplay footage of it as well. He does this quick backflip and then he quickly recovers. I'm assuming this is the light kick version of the hop. Now if I'm wrong and it's a second theory, then the only explanation for this move is that maybe this is his backdash. Anyways, whatever this is, it looks really useful for mixing up your opponent and it makes you very mobile in the air. You can jump on the wall with it, it supports his V trigger really well, so it's a good addition to his arsenal. Okay, so let's go through the gameplay trailer now, piece by piece. So Rashid opens up with what looks like a jumping hard kick into a crouching medium kick into the EX, well, we'll call it Condor Spire, which puts the opponent to a juggle state, and then he does his Conra twirl move upwards and juggles Ryu. So we already see some good combo potential and a lot of hits for this character. Okay, so the second clip is kind of crazy because we see Rashid running towards the opponent and all of a sudden he cancels right into his Condor Spire. Now watching the gameplay footage, I'm almost 100% certain this is just his dash animation, which is him running towards the opponent, but he's definitely canceling out of it in the trailer. This could be movie magic, but maybe Rashid is able to cancel his dash into specials. The next clip, we see Rashid dash forward and we get to see what his V skill looks like. So his V skill is kind of like this tumble, looks super low profile, or it might even be projectile invincible. Either way, it goes under Ryu's fireball and then he kicks Ryu. I know this is his V skill because watching the gameplay footage, I saw someone land this hit and then he gained V gauge from it. Plus, come on guys, it's anti-zoning, of course it's his V skill. Anyways, when he dashes into this, it looks very fluid, almost like he's cancelling the dash into his V skill. Okay, next we get to see Rashid's forward throw. I'm positive this is his forward throw. Kicks him pretty far away from him. I've also seen his back throw in some gameplay footage. He jumps to the opponent's back and kicks him with both feet, knocking him to the other side of the screen naturally. Alright, so we see a bunch of stuff here. First, he does that quick backflip hop we were talking about before. This is either a command hop using a light kick version, for example, or it's his backdash. And then we see his standing hard kick. I'm pretty sure this is a standing hard kick. I've seen it in some gameplay footage. Another thing too is that it causes a crush counter, so naturally it is a hard attack normal. But the crush counter juggles him upwards, kind of like old school Beta Bison that knocked him up from the crush counter slide. And then Rashid naturally falls up with a crouching hard kick and causes a knockdown. Next up we see Rashid do his twirl move straight vertical, and basically the trailer just showing us an example as an anti-air. Now we see Rashid's projectile being used as another anti-air and putting the opponent into a juggled state basically. Now we get to see Rashid's V reversal. He simply tumbles to the other side and repositions himself. I like this one in particular because it really gets him out of the corner, and that's what I want from a V reversal. It's kind of Nash kind of like, because Nash kind of does the same thing as well, and then immediately follows up with his Condor Spire. I don't think it's automatic, I think he's manually doing it. Now we get to see the mysterious hop move again, followed by the dive kick. The dive kick knocks the opponent and yourself away from each other. Now we see something interesting here. We see Rashid do a wall jump, followed by a cross up, looks like a jumping medium kick maybe. But anyways, the important part is the wall jump. So when Rashid does a wall jump, he could do his command hop or whatever it is onto the wall, and then he can jump off the wall or he can actually dive downwards from the wall. So in this gameplay footage here, I'm just showing you guys him naturally jumping off the wall, and then another part where he just dives straight down into his jumping hard kick. It's pretty crazy, man. It looks like something like Chip from Guilty Gear or something. I really like this because, you know, Chun-Li's got a wall jump too, but her jump is ass. And, you know, Rashid's jump is pretty damn good, man. And the fact that he can dive downwards makes it extra crazy. Alright, it's time for the good stuff. It's time for Rashid's V trigger. Now Rashid manifests a giant tornado that moves very, very slow, but has a giant vertical hitbox. So huge that it looks like the opponent can't even jump over it. This is most familiar on Dalsim's Yoga Catastrophe, where it puts immediate pressure on the opponent and he has to react. He's got to do something. He can't just sit there. This is a one-time use V trigger. Rashid has 2 stocks of V gauge, by the way, and it has a ton of applications. Like I said, it can get pressure off of you, it can cause up a mix-up situation, it even neutralizes projectiles. But the craziest part here is if you look at the footage closely, you can see Rashid jumping towards the tornado and all of a sudden he blasts downwards to the ground. It seems that when Rashid touches the tornado, it manipulates his movement. This looks amazing for mix-ups. It's also a really cool addition to the Street Fighter series, man. I like to see some more depth with the characters. But anyways, it looks like some of his standing normals, he gets sucked into the tornado as well. I wonder what happens if you shoot your own projectile at it. But anyways, yeah. Very cool V-trigger, very original, love it. We get to see another clip here using the V-trigger. This time Rashid does his command hop or super jump or whatever, also being manipulated by the tornado, changes his trajectory, he goes super fast right when he goes through the tornado, and then he does his EX dive kick, which basically puts the opponent into a juggled state. I'm not too sure because it knocks Ryu into the tornado, so I'm not sure what happens if he didn't get knocked in the tornado. And then he does this EX kick upwards. I have no idea what this move is because we've already seen the EX version of the Condor Spire. Perhaps it's his twirl move, the Conra twirl move, the EX version, and he just does a kick instead of twirling, for example, and hits Ryu upwards. And in case you guys are wondering, in the gameplay footage, I did see a normal that looked like an overhead, probably his forward hard punch, where he does a bunch of chops downwards, and it would make sense that Rashid would have an overhead because you gotta mix up the opponent when he's blocking that tornado. And for the grand finale, we get to see Rashid cancel his projectile into his super. His super looks super goofy, man. He does this genie stance and then kicks Ryu a couple times. Yeah. I don't know what the animation of this super looks like on whiff. Like, I don't know if it's a projectile or a close attack or whatever, even from the gameplay footage that I've seen. Anyways, guys, that's it for the Rashid breakdown. Overall, I'm pretty happy with the character. It's really cool seeing the new characters that they're bringing to the game. And let me know, guys, what you think about this character and his, general playstyle. Alright, take care, guys. Peace.